I am officially halfway through the 75 hard style challenge for the second time around. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, there will be some links in the description down below, but essentially it is a 75-day long style challenge with some guidelines with helping you use the things already in your wardrobe. I am running this challenge from April 1st through the middle of June, and last time I did it was the middle of October through the end of the year. Like I said, I am now halfway through my second go of this, and today is May 7th, though I think this video will be up in like a week and a half. So how is the challenge going for me this time around? Well, my biggest issue I thought was going to be getting dressed every single day, and by dressed I meant wearing things that aren't loungewear. I can swap into loungewear, but I wanted to do full proper outfits every day. And as of right now, when I'm 37 days in, that is exactly what I've been doing. I am currently wearing sweatpants, but that is not actually what I wore out of the house. I have every single day, even during weekends or days off or holidays, which there have been a few of during the period of this challenge so far, I have not worn just loungewear for an entire day. And I'm really proud of that, and I'm really happy with that. I don't think there's anything wrong for me or you or anyone to wear loungewear, and for some people loungewear is proper clothes you wear out of the house. That is not something that I tend to do, but I do tend to, or I tended to at least before this challenge, to wear primarily loungewear during the weekends, like not properly get dressed, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I wanted the challenge, and so far, 37 days in, I'm doing it. I have also been documenting my outfits, which is also one of the guidelines, and I know I talked about in my announcement video for doing this a second time around, I talked about maybe I could figure out a way to edit like vertical videos, that's what it's called, like on my phone of my daily outfits and see if I do any of those. That has not happened, as you may have been able to tell, and that is not something that I am prioritizing moving forwards either. It would be something that's fun to do, but May is a really hectic month for me. It's only the 7th. This week has been a lot, and the next like full week and a half, 2 weeks, is going to be a lot. And so when that ends, we're already on like the 23rd or something of May, which, yes, I have a few weeks left at that point, but I'm not prioritizing teaching myself how to edit vertical videos. But I am still documenting my outfits on my wearing. Username on the screen right now if you want to see those there. The next guideline was to not buy anything new, and that is something that I have stuck with. I have not bought anything new. However, I did go to the clothing swap, which I have a link to up here probably if the linking works. I've had some issues with that, and that was something that I went into the challenge knowing that I was going to do. However, I of course didn't know if I was going to bring anything home from the swaps. I did get 6 pieces though. I am happy with those 6 pieces, and I've worn all of them except for the 2 turtlenecks, which makes sense because we are now officially in spring. As for setting my own guidelines, which you're also supposed to do for this challenge, I set 2. One was to get my cost per wear down, which is a challenge that I'm doing for the entirety of the year. I want to get it down from 38 Swedish kronor on average down to 20 Swedish kronor on average, and I set the goal for mid-June to be 28. Now I'm only in the beginning of May at this point as of me filming this, but I have gotten it down to 29. However, it hasn't gone down from 38 to 29 during this 37-day period. It has gone down from 32, which is where I was at the end of March. So it's only gone down by 3, and bringing in those free items from the swap definitely helped bring the number down. The second guideline I set for myself ties in with my other goal for this year, which is to wear everything in my wardrobe at least once, and I set the goal for mid-June to be at 65% of my wardrobe worn from the beginning of the year until then. The last time I checked was when I wrapped up my April cost per wear video, and I was then at 67.8% of my wardrobe worn, again with a goal being 65 for mid-June. I have since then worn a couple more pieces now in the beginning of May, so I'm probably at around 70% of my wardrobe worn at this point, which feels very good. And in that April wrap-up video, I asked if you, the subscribers, the viewers, thought that I should race either of those goals, the cost per wear goal or the wearing everything goal, until the end of this 75 hard style challenge period, which is mid-June, because I was now ahead of one of the goals and almost caught up with one of them. But several of you said that I should just not race them and just be proud of how far I've gotten and see how far I can get it without actually setting a new goal, and that feels really nice, so that is what I'm going to do. So I'm not changing any of those goals for the last 37 days of this challenge. I have surpassed one of them, and I will hopefully reach or surpass the other one, but I'm not going to race or adjust either of them. It is a couple days later, and I'm just jumping on here because I forgot to talk about one of my goals for the 75 Hard Styles Challenge, which was, or is, to wear accessories, to accessorize for a minimum of 20 days during this challenge. Now, the fact that I forgot to mention it might make it pretty obvious that I have not forgotten about that goal, but I haven't done that goal. I haven't aimed for, reached, I haven't done anything for that goal. So it is now the 9th of May, and I now have less than 38 days to go, and I have not accessorized one single time throughout the days so far. And I even drew on a little piece of paper, I drew 20 circles with the intention to draw whatever accessory I ended up using on whatever day I ended up using it, which might be a little bit overkill, it might be a little bit much to assume that I will also be drawing something, but it could also be fun, right? However, I have not accessorized once. There's still time for me to complete this, but I now have to do it with a much higher frequency than I would have had to had I started near the beginning of the challenge. And I don't mind accessorizing, it's just I never think to do it, or I think to do it like in the evening when I'm about to go to bed, or when I'm not home, and I think of this challenge, and I'm like, oh yeah, I could have put in earrings today, and I didn't. My accessories don't live where my clothes live. I do have my belts in this room, but I don't have any jewelry, I don't have any like scarves, I don't have anything else other than belts in this room, and I keep forgetting them, and I think that I should move them into this room. That will probably, hopefully happen at some point. Maybe it's part of the reorganizing my closet thing. But yeah, no accessorizing so far. Really should get on that. The next challenge goal is to get creative and rely on your brain for inspiration. And I said in the announcement video that I don't mind if I get inspired by something else. Like if I go on Pinterest, or I watch videos, or I try outfit formulas, or I do something like that. Where I'm at right now, I have not actively sought out inspiration, but I also haven't actively put together super creative outfits from my own brain with my wardrobe. Although I'm wearing this shirt today, I'll put a picture on the screen for you right now, which will give you a better look at it, which I have previously paired with my green linen and viscose trousers, and I know I've said they will work with the pink ones as well. However, today I wore them with these dark blue ones, which there's no blue in the shirt, but the colors still complement each other. That is also why I have so many like bright, I have a bright yellow, I have a bright green, I have bright blue, I have bright pink in trousers and t-shirts and over shirts for several of them, and why I like mixing and matching those so much. There's no blue in the shirt, these pants were still a nice addition to them, and I felt really good in this outfit. But I'm not opposed to trying to be more creative or trying to find inspiration from other people, and I won't view that as a fail for one of these guidelines. Like, I don't mind doing that. I'm perfectly fine with doing that and not relying solely on my own brain. As for the last guideline of this challenge, that is to clean out and organize your closets. And I said in the announcement video that I don't want to do like a big overhaul and part ways with lots of my things. I do want to have and wear and like what I have and wear, hopefully, but that I do have a couple pieces that no longer fit me or serve me. I haven't really done that yet, but I have looked a little bit at my closet and started to think, like when I'm not actively in my closet, started to think about different pieces and possibly setting those aside and doing styling tests with those to see if they work and also if they fit. I have tried on one dress that no longer fits me, and it's a piece that is so special to me that I don't want to part ways with it, but I'm also not in the habit of trying to make myself fit in the clothes that don't fit me. However, for this dress, I do think it's possible to let it out or to add a little bit of fabric like in the torso part, like in the bust area, and let it out that way, like make it a little bit bigger that way to make it fit me, which I really wanted to do. But if it cannot be altered, that dress is still so special to me that I don't want to get rid of it. However, if it doesn't fit me, it shouldn't be hanging here in my closet space that you can't see, but it's over here somewhere. I also forgot the other day when I filmed the bulk of this video to show you this. I have not finished organizing and clearing out my closet, but I did get the clothing rack back up that fell down. I don't even know when that was. I think it was before New Year's? No, it was after New Year's. I have no idea what it was. But I have this curtain rod hanging from the ceiling, and some of the threads that were holding it snapped, it bent, everything was on the floor, and the curtain rod was beyond repair. It was too bent to be able to use it for what I wanted it to be. However, we did have another one in the basement that we had used as a curtain rod before, and I've now managed to hang it back up with some help from Teresa, but it is now back up and I'm very excited about it. I have also gone through a couple of pieces that I have previously set aside to mend. There may be rips in them, buttons missing, elastics that need replacing, that kind of thing. And one of the pieces, it's over there, one of the pieces, which was a pair of shorts, no longer fits me, and I will not again try to make myself fit into them, but 3 other pieces I've put over there do still fit me, and I will make those mends hopefully soon. That is not necessarily part of the 75 hardstyle challenge, though 2 at least of those pieces are summery and I want to wear them soon. If not during the challenge, then at least during the rest of the summer. The pair of shorts that no longer fits me and needs mending, I am not thinking that I'm going to mend. Instead, I am going to hand them off to my husband, most likely, who recycles, is not the right word, he upcycles textiles into other textiles and is really cool, and I'm going to hand those off to him because they have a big rip in the thigh, and I would be fine with wearing those mended on my own body, but I don't know if mending them and trying to sell or donate them would end up with them actually being used and worn. But like I've mentioned, I have half of this challenge left. I am currently on day 37. It is a total of 75 days. That means I have 38 days left. I feel like the challenge is going really well. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm happy that I'm ahead of one of my goals and almost at my other goal, and hoping I'll hit that before the challenge is over. And I'm feeling good about not having been thrifting, not having been shopping, but for me that is thrifting. But I do, however, miss it. I miss going into a thrift store. I miss finding cool, unique, lovely pieces that I want and get and all that good stuff and use. I have still been scrolling on Vinted a little bit, which I also did during the previous rendition of this challenge, and I'll scroll sometimes and I'll favorite some things, but I know I'm not going to get anything until mid-June at the earliest, and so it feels like I'm doing it because I want to do it, I suppose, but it also a little bit feels like a waste of time because I'm not on there to find anything to add to my wardrobe to complete or complement it. I'm just looking at stuff that I know I'm not going to get, but I keep doing it, and I don't really know why. I think it's a force of habit. I have also been into one thrift store during this challenge, and I was just going to look at stuff like books, home decor, furniture, that kind of stuff, and I wasn't even going to go to the clothes section. But when I was in there, I was like, yeah, well, maybe I could just look. I'm not going to get anything. And I went upstairs to the clothes. I did even try one thing on, but it didn't fit me. And I was like, no, I'm not going to get anything. And I left. But it was nice to sort of tempt myself that way and still walk out empty-handed. I will, however, say, though, that at the beginning of this challenge, I had recently been thrifting and I was really excited about those pieces, and I started wearing some of those pieces. And I don't know if it was because I had recently thrifted and I was on that sort of thrifter's high that happens, or if it was that the seasons are starting to change and I'm excited for spring and new weather, or weather I haven't had in a while, or if it was something else, boredom, hormones, I don't even know what. But I had a period at the beginning of this challenge particularly where I was like, why am I putting myself through this? Like, why am I limiting myself this way? Because I don't need to. I'm enforcing this onto myself, and I was questioning why. And I was a little bit questioning, do I have to follow through with this? Can't I just go thrifting and be happy? But I didn't end up going thrifting, and I am fine. But it was a reflection I had early in the challenge that why am I doing this when I have all this opportunity to go thrifting and all this opportunity to find these cool magpie shiny little things that I will add to my wardrobe. But we do have summer coming up. I will have vacation in July, so it's a little while away, but I also know that May is going to pass by so fast, and then June also probably pretty fast, and mid-June I am allowed to thrift again, and I probably will because I want to. And interestingly enough, I did this challenge mid-October through the end of the year the first time around, and I actually ended up, not on purpose, but I ended up extending it for another month because I didn't thrift anything or shop buy anything for the duration of January either. I didn't go thrifting until February. This time around, though, I am fairly certain that I will be going thrifting. I miss it a lot. I did that last time too, I guess, but I miss it a lot, and we're in a much better season. It's light outside. First of all, it doesn't get dark at 2 p.m. anymore. It's great. There is perhaps then a little bit more energy and a little bit more excitement at the end of, say, a workday, but also I have my summer vacation coming up, and part of that I do want to spend thrifting because I enjoy it so much. I have other plans as well for this challenge. I do have quite a few things happening during my vacation that I'm very excited about, but I will for sure also be thrifting. But that is all I have to share with you today at the halfway point of the 75 hard style challenge. I would love to hear in the comments down below if you have ever tried this or if you're doing any other style challenges. I know that a couple of you have mentioned style challenges that you're doing this year, and I would love an update on those if you're willing to share those with me in the comments down below. But for now, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with another video soon, so I hope to see you then. Bye!